Hi guys. Believe it or not, recently I turned 30 years old and I have some wisdom to share with you. The first one, it's being 30, it means absolutely nothing. Everything that you want to do, you can still do it, anytime. I remember being so stressed about turning 30, and I had this list of all the things that I wanted to do, and I had like 100 million things on that list, and I had like 4 categories. Like, it was a crazy list, honestly, and it was like a very high expectation. It's like my life ended before 30 or something. I know it sounds like a big number, and a lot of people have a lot of expectation of things that they want to do before 30. Like, some people want to have a family, some people want to have business, have $1 million or whatever, and of course I was no exception. I also wanted all of those things, but here we are, and it's not the end of the world. You still have your whole life to accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. Of course, don't see that, oh, if I didn't do it on 30, I'm gonna give up and in my life it's over or whatever. No, it doesn't work that way. I still have my list, and I'm planning to still go over all of the items that I want to do, but not before 30, because life it's just starting. So you can do anything that you want at any age. It doesn't matter how old you are, okay? So that's one thing that I learned recently, and I think that was the main thing for me, because I was super stressed about being 30. But what's the rush? Like, when we are young, we are super rushed, and there's absolutely no need for that. Next one is like, your dreams do not become true by themselves. You really have to work hard for them. I always thought I would be walking on the street, and then someone would tell me like, hey, do you wanna be in this movie? And then my life would completely change. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. Of course, a lot of people have their life change in a blink of an eye, or pretty fast. But in my case, it was not like that. Actually, it was a lot of work that I have to put, especially because a few years ago I was very, very overweight. I didn't have a stable business. I always dreamed about, making videos and stuff. My life was very, very different, and I can talk about it in another video. I used to be super proud of, I have high dreams, but you actually have to put in the work to make that happen. And it seems pretty obvious, but I thought that would happen magically, and unfortunately that didn't happen. I was waiting for years and nothing happened. My life really changed once I started to actually take action towards my dream life. Number 3, the real failure is to not try, because sometimes we're so afraid of failure, and we're afraid of like what people are going to say, how people are going to perceive us. Like I said, I used to be super proud of having big dreams, but sometimes we don't even try because we're afraid of not actually getting those things. So if I tried, at least I feel good about myself, that okay, I'm trying to make this video, and even if it's not perfect, even if no one watches it, even if my English is not perfect or whatever, I'm still going to try to share this message with you guys, because I really want to share things that I've learned in my 30s. So also, you really learn by making mistakes. People are so worried and so afraid to making mistakes, and yeah, but how are you going to be successful if you're not making any mistakes? Like, making mistakes is how I've learned my lessons. And if you skip that part, it's like, how are you going to perfect your craft? How are you going to improve if you don't try and make mistakes? There was a video that I watched of a girl, I don't remember her name. If I do, or if I find her, I'm gonna link it down below. But she was saying like, her father used to tell her all the time, like, what did you fail on today? What did you try today? What did you try and failed? And if the girl didn't fail on anything, it means that she didn't even try. So I think I would like to have the same mentality with my kids, or even with myself. Number 4, stop putting everybody on a pedestal. I used to do that so much, and I think that's something that I do by default for some reason. Whenever I meet someone and it's someone that I look up to or whatever, I automatically put them on a pedestal and I make myself small. We are all the same. Just take the other person as inspiration, but don't put them on a pedestal. When we look up to someone, we forget that they're human too. I also learned is that people are mirrors, and whatever you see in others, you have it. Either if it's good or bad. So if you admire someone, if you look up to someone, that means that you have those qualities as well within you. You can develop that as well. Sometimes we just look up to people and we put them on a pedestal, but then we don't recognize that we also have that power. We also have that within us. So I think that's very important that we don't fantasize about other people and don't try to make other people like higher or make ourselves smaller, because that really makes absolutely no sense. Just see everybody as equal as you, because we are all the same and humans. You get what I'm saying? So consistency is much more important than hard work. The simple fact of dedicating a little small amount every day to an activity, it will put you not behind, what's the word? Not behind, it will put you ahead of people. Like, for example, you want to lose weight, you eat healthy every day. That little thing give you much more result than you spending like just one day working out really hard. It's like that concept of like you are watering yourself. You cannot water in just one day. You have to water a little bit every single day. So doing a little bit every day is way more powerful than doing a lot but just one time. So think about that, and think about your goals, and think about how can you do just a little bit every single day to accomplish whatever you want to do. Another thing that I learned during my 30 years is that whatever other people think about you, it's really not your problem. The most important thing is the concept that you have of yourself. And I'm telling you this, and I just have to remind myself of these things, because yes, I've learned it, but sometimes I forget. But it's so true. We care so much about what others are going to say or think about us. The important thing is I perceive myself as a person that it's valuable, and I know my worth, and you shouldn't really care or base your life out of that, because otherwise we're going to be crazy. Been there, done that, and it's really not worth it. Create more than what you consume. This is mostly for social media. I like to think of myself as a creator. I really like to create new things and to come up with new ideas and new concepts. What is not everybody doing? I want to do that. The more you create, the more you connect with your inner God. Just listen to myself and think about what would I want to watch, or what would I want to create, what would make me happy. There's something beautiful about turning down the volume of the outside world so you can listen to yourself more. I don't want to waste time consuming. And yeah, of course, I'm a human. I'm like everybody else. Sometimes I have a few days where I'm like, I just want to be scrolling the whole day, but then I have to remind myself, like, what am I doing? I'm a creator. And then let the magic happen. Always have a learner mentality. Don't think that you know it all. For example, in my case, I've been in the language business for a while. Not only speak English, but I also speak Portuguese or French. Like, I know the process of learning a language, but I don't tell I know everything that there is to know about languages or about the English language, because no one does. It's not even possible. But I'm always learning, and I'm always sharing whatever I'm learning with you. And it's like this video. I'm not pretending that I know all the answers or anything, but I'm just sharing what I've learned, because I made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I would have loved to listen to this kind of advices a few years ago, and I think my life would have been pretty easier. There's something very humbling about always keep that learner mindset, and I never want to believe that I know absolutely everything, because I always want to be learning all the time, open to new ideas. I think that's key. I wanted to share with you my definition of success, because I think everyone has a different version. And of course, the one that we see on social media, it's the car, the family, the big house, and a lot of money. That's one definition of success, but it's not for everybody. For me, the success is directly proportionate to the amount of people that you help. Being able to change people's lives and being able to really help people solve their problems, or helping others to go further in life. Another definition of success for me would be to be completely free of my time, or completely free of whatever decision I want to make. Freedom and the amount of people that you help, those are the two key factors for me to feel successful. Tell me in the comments, what would make you feel successful? Also, traveling. I really love traveling, and I would love to be able to take my family with me and take my sisters, my dog, everywhere I go. Our flaws are just our biggest strength out of context. That person that you see, it's slow. For example, you see a slow person and nobody has attention to detail. Our biggest strengths, it could also be our biggest flaws if in the wrong context. So that's something that for me really important to remember whenever I see my sisters or my friends or whatever. The main thing is just to learn about yourself as much as possible. I use the Enneagram. It's a good way to know your tendencies. That's very important, to be aware of where you tend to go to, and then you can use that on your favor. Take the time to know yourself. When you don't know yourself, you go through life with your eyes covered. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're working with. The comfort zone, it's really uncomfortable actually if you stay there long enough. Like, I used to be in my comfort zone when I was really overweight, and I was not happy at all. I remember when I moved to the US, I didn't speak English that much. It was uncomfortable to live in the US and to not speak English. We have to really understand comfort zone. It has the wrong name actually. It is actually the uncomfortable zone, because if you stay there a long time, you're gonna be stuck and you're not gonna be super happy, and it's gonna take a lot of effort for you to stay there. And then you realize that it's better to just take action and move forward to the life that you want, and that would actually make your life way easier. If plan A doesn't work, we need to try plan B, C, D, E. We have all the letters of the alphabet. Remember that if plan A didn't work, it's okay. We have a lot of other options to try. I remember my first YouTube channel was actually about teaching Portuguese. The Brazilian culture is one of my favorite. I really love the accent and the music. You know, it's really beautiful, I thought. But it was not super successful. I realized that there's not many people that was super interested in that topic. So I changed the topic because I was still interested in languages and travel. So I started doing a travel vlog, and then I did this English channel where I was teaching people to speak English, and now I'm like more transitioning onto like my personal brand, and I want to just share my experiences and my life as a content creator, immigrant living in the US, business owner. I'm a polyglot, and I want to share how I see the world in all the different languages. I'm also a vegan. I have so many things to share, and now I just want to do everything. I don't want to stop myself from sharing something that I really feel passionate about sharing. I've tried many different things. The most important thing is to not give up, and most of the people, they do not become an overnight success. So they don't launch their first product and then they just become millionaires with their first product. Usually it was like one product and then another one, and then they perfect it. You have to really do it many times in order to get it right. And look at the example of the McDonald guy. I don't know if you guys watched the movie, but if you haven't, you should watch it, because you can tell that he was an entrepreneur and he was just selling blenders, and he started with that, but then he became like the owner of all the restaurants. You just have to try and never give up, and just trust your vision, trust your dream. If we have a dream in our heart, it means that we can achieve it. And I believe that it's not the previous version that attracts the future of us. I think it's the future version of ourselves that sent like a wave to our previous version or the past version of ourselves, which is us right now in the present, and we get the waves of what's really possible, and then we get like this connection from us in the future. I don't know, this is so confusing to say in English, but I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. And it's actually something that I read in a book. It's a really nice book about manifestation and the law of attraction. Another one that I really love is do not try to look like anyone else. Be as much you as possible, because sometimes we think that we need to look in a certain way. I definitely made this mistake so many times where I've tried to change myself to please the other person, and I lost myself. I didn't even know who I was. It was just really sad, honestly, because I was just with a very, very low self-esteem, and I think that's not worth it. I realized that I'm already perfect the way I am. Everyone else, it's already taken, and you have to just know yourself to be yourself. And if you like something, don't feel ashamed of it. For example, I'm a big Disney fan. I used to be embarrassed and I wouldn't tell people about that. There's nothing embarrassing about yourself. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. You know, like that's what makes you unique. That's what makes you you. For example, I love making videos, and I'm constantly making videos every single day, and some people would never understand that, but that's what I like to do. Your mental and emotional health is linked with your physical health. A healthy diet and a good exercise routine can help you with depression and anxiety. And honestly, this is so true. Every time I work out, every time I go for my run, I feel so much better. I don't do this enough. I forget, or I put so many excuses that I don't have time or whatever. Sometimes I feel sad, or I don't want to move or whatever. And if I just put my headphones with music and go for a run and go for a walk, I would be so much happier. That would boost my mood. That would make me feel better. That's sometimes the only thing that we need for our mental health, you know? So I think that's very important. Don't skip your exercise. At least try to do it regularly, 2 or 3 times a week. Also, it's important to do something that you really enjoy. I really don't like the gym, like lifting weights and stuff. I really enjoy taking walks, and I try to do really, really long walks whenever I can, and the weather allows that. I try to exercise and move myself almost every day. I mean, I have my dog, so I'm kind of forced to do that. But yeah, just don't only do it because of how you're going to look, which is something that I started doing that at the beginning because I wanted to look good. But it's not only about that, it's about your mental health and how you feel inside. Also, happiness is one decision. Every situation has a positive side, even if we don't see it, even if we don't know what it is. You know, sometimes we don't see it right away, but in the future you would see. You can always see everything in a positive way. Recently I lost my mom, and I haven't been able to find like a positive thing about that yet. I guess the only positive thing that I could think of is like she's not suffering anymore. She was suffering a lot. I've been through a lot of things in my life. Nothing as hard as this moment, but you always have to choose to be happy and to be positive, and you can always do that. You can always postpone your life, but at the end of the day, life is just right now. You know, you don't have any guarantee that things are going to happen in the future. We have the choice to be positive and to be happy. It's something that I always tell my sister, because the other day she came to me and she was complaining about her weight, and she was telling me like, oh, I don't like the way I am, I don't feel good or whatever. And I told her, you're only one decision away. You're only one decision away of changing your life. Either one decision away of being happy, or one decision away of changing your life. You just have to make the decision, make the commitment, and just say, this is enough. I'm not gonna tolerate this anymore. The things that we want the most in life are just one decision away. Another thing that I've struggled with is having friends. I don't have many friends, and this was hard, but at the end of the day, you have to remember that if you want to have friends, you have to start being a good friend yourself. I've struggled with having friends my whole life because I've always been the shy girl and I been a little bit like introverted. But I realized that if you want to have friends, it's important to be a good friend. If you're a good friend, people would naturally be drawn to you, and people would naturally invite you to things. They would want you close and everything. It's gonna be easier if that's your goal. If you are alone, you can go faster. But if you have a team, you can go further. And that's important because I recently learned that it's very, very important to have a team, to not do everything by yourself. I've been what they call it a solopreneur. I've been doing like my product launches, my content, my promotions, every single thing by myself. I think it's so valuable to really have a team and have people like really help you building something, having connections, helping each other, having a community. We need each other. I cannot say this enough. Like, having a team, building things together, it's way more powerful than just try to do everything by yourself. We cannot try to be good at every single thing, you know? Each person have their strength, the things that they're good at, and why not letting them help you and record more videos and save it on the cloud. Sometimes I record the videos, but I don't save them on the cloud, and then I lose them, and then I don't see them again, and it's so frustrating because I want to have those memories, you know? Another thing, make pieces with yourself and accept all the parts that make you who you are, and accepting you so much, and accepting that you either are a morning person or a night owl, that you are a Disney fan, and that you are kind of naive or innocent, or you are not organized. Everything about you is perfect, and don't try to change it. Of course, we can always improve certain things, but just accept yourself and surround yourself with people that also accept yourself, that love you exactly the way that you are, that are not trying to change you. Just be in peace with who you are and what you are. Write more, read more, dance more. Read more is like always learning, and dance more is like have more fun, relax. You know, we are all the time so stressed and all the time like taking life so seriously. Then also write your thoughts. I think that's very valuable, so you can learn about yourself and learn about the patterns. Listen to yourself. Your body talks to you. Ask yourself first before asking other people, and I think that's very, very valuable because I've been in that situation where I'm asking everybody like, what do you think about this video, and what do you think about this? I'm asking everybody for opinion, and then I'm like, wait, if I'm asking other people for an opinion, it's because I don't like it, and I'm waiting for the other person to tell me. So before I ask anyone else, I ask myself first if I like it, if I feel it's good. And then I ask others if I really need to, but listen to yourself first. Learn to listen to yourself, and your body tells you, you know, when something is right, you feel it in your body. So I think that's very, very important. We have dreams because the future version of ourselves, it's already living those dreams. I've learned also that it's very important to organize your life. I'm more like a creative person, and I have like my ideas all over the place, but I think it's really, really important to organize yourself and put some kind of order in your life and have some kind of I get scared. I thought there was something there. Having some structure is good. I used to avoid that, but it's important to have some kind of predictability in your life. Also something that it's important, it's to learn to communicate effectively with others and to set boundaries with others, which is so difficult for me sometimes. If I don't put the boundaries, who's gonna do it? Now it's my time, it's my turn to do it. And at the end of the day, people respect you way more when you tell them, hey, don't cross this line. You know, I think that's very important. When you can tell others how to treat you, or when you can tell others what you don't like, I think that's something so empowering about that. And yeah, I think it's beautiful. Also, something I've learned, it's better done than perfect. I think sometimes we want everything to be perfect because we care too much about our image or about or work being very good or whatever. We don't care about something being perfect, because at the end of the day, perfection is like very subjective. It's like it's better to work out a little bit every day than to do the perfect workout routine. It's better to post a video than not to post that. Even if it's not perfect, it's better to post something than to not do anything, you know? So I think about that. Also, share your progress, not only the result, because sometimes on social media, at least, we see only the highlight, you know, the final result. We see the graduation, the engagement, the wedding or whatever, but we don't see what's behind that. I'm in a position right now where I want to share my process. I want to share like my life, or how I get things done and how I think about things, and you know, and I just want to share my progress and not only the final result. There's not such thing as the end goal. I think it's just where we live in the constant progress and the constant learning. At the end of the day, happiness is in the small moments. It's in the process. It's not only in the big things and the big result and the big thing that we achieve. It's just the small things, you know? And those small moments where you see you're recording a video and then your dog comes and kisses you, when your tea tastes perfect, and when you wake up in your bed, and when you are able to spend time with the people that you love, when you eat good food. Happiness is just in those small moments, and you have to just appreciate them, you know, because life is so short, guys. Like I told you that I lost my mom just a few weeks ago, and it's been really, really difficult, and I can talk about it in another video. Life is so short, and I cannot tell you enough to enjoy the time with your family. I know we are super busy, we're trying to work, we're trying to do so many things, but just make the time for them, because tomorrow is never guaranteed. And I just wanted to finish this video with that idea, and thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to this channel if you like this kind of videos. Tell me which one was your favorite piece of advice, and see you on the next video. Bye.